When I'm drawing anime eyes, usually what I do to just make it go way faster and have that kind of manga type speed is I just go with a nice little oval like this, somewhat. And this is kind of like going to be the housing for, of course, you want it to be a little better than that, of course. It's going to be like the housing for that eye. Say, remember we have that sphere that's really inside of there, and that this sphere is 3D. That's one of the most important things to remember is that it's 3D, and that iris is right in the middle. So this will help you with realistic eyes as well, not just anime eyes. But it's kind of like we're just connecting this area around here. It's really important to use some realistic reference if you're gonna draw a more realistic eye like this one. But yeah, remember it's 3D, and then this kind of area around it, this area around it is kind of conforming to how that eye is. So that's a little bit more complex of an eye. Alright, now let's go into kind of an anime eye and how those work. Okay, so first of all, of course, a little circle, but sometimes sometimes I'll do something else, like it'll go like this, and the upper eyelash area is always darker, even if it's for male characters, but for female characters they're usually darker. So of course, like a real eye, you want this whole iris area, and then you have your dark spot, of course. But just remember that this eyelash area, is being covered. So think of it as casting a shadow over this part. So what you'll usually see is you'll see the eyes are like this, and then it's all uniform and mostly kind of similar color, and then it gets darker up here. But around this area as well, the outline of this iris is dark as well. And what we used to do back in the day is we just draw lines from it. And this is of course for a more realistic looking eye, but it's good to have that reference. But yeah, we draw lines around it. And do this as well, and then just darken that bad boy right there in the middle, and then just to kind of put some random detail in there, just go with a little bit of a darker kind of area around that as well. And this is just the basic way that I drew eyes back in the day. For just really quick, more realistic eyes. Next, though, we always know that there's a bit of a shiny area inside of the eye. So you can do that. And that just adds an extra layer to it, especially for anime eyes. You can make an anime eye look very aesthetic by adding just a few shine marks, or even your own unique shine marks that will be able to really spice the eye up. So here, that pupil area. Okay, and then one second. What we'll do first is we'll draw the highlight first, because I love drawing the highlight first. Alright, so we have this highlight, and this is the basic one, just right up in this corner, just bloop, right up in the corner. And then what I like to do is I usually like to connect that, and then just do an outer ring, which is representing this dark area right here. That outer ring comes up and then connects like that. And now this is going to be dark, like so. That's a very basic way to do kind of an anime eye. And you can add those as well. But remember that there's always folds around the eye area. Okay. Just remember that. And that's a more playful kind of eye looking. What you can also do is the thinner eye, which seems to be a bit more mysterious. And what you're gonna do is this. So you have the eyeball. Of course, you draw that there. And then think of the skin, like I said, wrapping around that. But with anime, it's more exaggerated. It's not a swoop. It's more like whoop, whoop. You can whoop, whoop, that, do anything. And boom, there goes the eye looking down now. So try to keep your lines fairly clean, but don't feel guilty about making bad lines. You can always go back and be able to improve them. So we're using the pencil tool. And that's the same with anybody who's drawing anything else with pencil. So always remember there's this lash up here, and it's almost like it curves to it. So yeah. Alright. So next what we're going to look at is this. We're going to take a reference, this, and a good way to just get accustomed to it would be to take it and you can just really mentally think about it, or really fun thing to do is practice these shapes though. Just know that the eyeball will be housed inside of this shape. And these shapes are very important for building faces, for building eye sockets. You can look at this. This is a more straight-on view of one. It's not necessarily completely accurate. It is pretty accurate, but I wouldn't say it's the most accurate. But it's close enough to reality that you can use this as reference. But as you can see, the shape it's kind of like drawing a little bit of a stretch D. And right in the middle, we have, of course, the eyeball. And this is not the skin. This is just the skull. This is just the skull, and you don't really have to. Knowing what's under that skin is very important. So just looking at reference like this, look up eye reference, eye anatomy, and that'll help you be able to just determine and really get accustomed to what's underneath. But now I'm going to show you guys, next I'm going to show you guys this. This is what I'm going to show you. Very cool method just to get you can think of it as an exercise, but really what it's going to do is it's going to get you way more comfortable with being able to just draw eyes in general. So the first thing to do is this. It's just spheres. And I'll just do 4 for now. And basic eye looking up, and then eye looking down, eye looking to the right. Now let's do one of an eye looking to the left. So this video is really just to get you thinking about how that eye works. Now remember, your eyelashes are always kind of going somewhat over that eyelid. And really, when in doubt, with eyeballs, just remember this, just kind of like that. This is why it's so important to have that realistic reference, and to be able to have studied a lot of eyes to where you know what it takes to make the eye look real. It might not be accurate, but you know what it takes to make the eye look believable, you know. And you know about angles as well, like this, so you know that, like that, and boom. Of course, your eyelashes going off that way, and this is basically the same as that one. And as you can see, I'm fixing these eyes because as you look at this side view of the eye, what is happening is that you're turning that perspective of that eye, and there's just parts of it that you won't see, you know, seem to get skinnier and skinnier and skinnier as it goes. So that's what I want you guys to kind of understand, that this is a 3D object, it's moving in a 3D space, and pretty sure you guys already understand that, but this will help. A lot of lines, there's a lot of lines and stuff and wrinkles around the eye, depending on the age of the person or the expression the person's making in their face. See right here, I had the eye right in this area first, but this little thing right here, this little extra, was way too much. It was too forward. Remember that eye is housed, so that eye is housed inside of that, inside of your eyelid. So you can't just draw the eyelids, you know, however you would draw them. You can't just draw the eyelids and then have the eyeball just bounce way out here and have that eye. That's basically what I just did. So yeah, you can't have that eye just bounce out of the eye, like out of there like that, unless of course you're having, you know, unless you're having someone like come and snatch out the Sharingan from him. Alright, whatever. Okay. Alright, next thing we're going to talk about is the eye box. Or no. Yes, eye box. So you've learned that basic way to kind of take that circle and just draw folds. Take that circle and just draw folds over it. Kind of connect them somewhat. And it's that. And now you can take it to the next level and be able to really turn the eye. Not have it look different directions like that, but really turn the eye in perspective. This is tough, but it might be a little tough for you, or it might be really easy for you. It just depends on how your mind thinks. So, that's the first thing I'm going to show you. Alright, so you can kind of think of the eye as like this. You have this square, and think of it like a sheet of paper. So if you were to turn it on its side a little bit, it would look like this. And it doesn't really have much of a 3D property. But if you return it on the side like this, yeah, it would look like this. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take that circle and you're going to draw it there. And then you'll draw the iris right in the middle, pupil, and all that, whatever. So what it's going to force you to do with this one is you have to think about, what is this circle going to look like 3D wise, and which way am I going to be able to do it? If you're having trouble with different angles, draw it up like this and connect it to that. Swoop. And then same with this side. Draw it up like this, connect to that. And then connect those. And then boom. You got that eye coming out of there. So once you do that enough times, and you just do it at any angle. See? I don't even have a good square there, but I don't even have a good rectangle. And then, like I said, just kind of do it like this, and connect them. The other eye, that iris. So yeah, remember that this thing is always out, coming out though. All right, so next, once you've done this enough, you'll be able to add some folds. So like that, like we were doing before. This is basics. Just basic folds like that. Just basic little eyelid, and then connect that as well. And you can kind of use that circle as a guide to what it will, to what those folds are going to look like. See, like that. And then forget that eye. And this is a great way to think about the eye. See, just follow the lines of the circle like that. And of course, push the eye out, eyelid out. Push the eyelash out, not the eyelid. And there you go. So I called this an eye box, but it's really like more like the eye sheet. And so now I'll show you guys the eye box. And this is good to do not just with the eye, but really with everything. And so what you do is you basically draw yourself a box. I need some short lines here. I can't. And so yeah, you draw yourself a box like so. And then with this, you draw your eye circles. Since they're all going to be the same circle, you can just draw that same circle in every single one, but you'll see in a second what we're going to do with them. So now you're drawing those circles. Now what you're going to do is you're going to draw your neutral eye. And it can be facing right, left, whatever. And I'm just going to make mine face right, because that's easier for me. I mean, I'm just going to make it the left eye. Okay, I like how this eye looks. Okay, and of course we know that that iris area is always right there in the middle. And of course you got those folds coming like that. Okay, so if you can draw an eye like this, you can draw it in any of these. It's all about how you mentally think of what the eye is looking like. So this is a very good image for that. Just mentally think what this thing looks like moving around. And this is a very good image also for just the way that the skin or the muscle wraps around the eye ball. So, right? So this is very good for exercise for anything. Any kind of thing that you are doing that you can separate and view from different angles, this will work great for. So just taking in objects like a cup or anything and just turning it around in perspective will help you be able to fully kind of master that. See, this whole time I haven't been really drawing from any reference. I've just been drawing pretty much off the head. And I've just been using the reference to kind of think about what the correct way the eye is. End of the day, it's all about drawing an eye. For anime eyes, is drawing an eye that's appealing, that you like. Because if you were to draw, be animating, if you were to be animating, then, or if you were to be drawing your own manga with your own specific style, you wouldn't want to. Oh man, my tablet died. Of course. So, if you're drawing your own manga with its own specific style, you wouldn't want to have to look at reference every single time you wanted to. You wouldn't want to have to look at reference every single time you wanted to draw an eye. So you want it to look how you would like it to look. So each one of these is pointing in whatever direction. Whatever direction. So let's try this one. So draw that line there. We understand that this circle is here. And this iris is here. There it is. And then just basically draw this kind of line that's wrapping around. Is wrapping around it. So, and then how you connect it is your style. You know, how you connect the eyelash, or maybe don't even establish a connection. So here, I'll show you with no connection. And just a basic kind of eye. It's looking that way. Oh boy. I really messed that one up. That was a bad example. Okay. So yeah, I'll connect that anyways. And I was a bit off on that one. So once you really get to see how an eye works, you understand when the eye is off. This is why I can say this one is a dud. Not good. But it doesn't mean anything. Notice this whole time I'm not really erasing much. And erasing for me is my kryptonite. Once I erase, I just slow down and I can't draw as well anymore. This is the same in real life as well. If you have a momentum and you have ideas just exploding in your head, it's okay to just keep drawing when something is wrong and erase, or maybe even draw over it. Of course, you want your drawings to be clean, but remember, we're living in the digital age, and you can always go back and be able to correct it, make it look even better than it did before. And that's the same with physical art as well, traditional, I would say, you can take that traditional art, scan it in, or take a picture of it, and then be able to improve it by erasing all the extra lines, or maybe you go the old classic way and just ink it. So, inking is like post-processing for traditional art. Okay, so yeah, we draw the icon in all those different directions. Another thing that I want to bring up is that just remember, of course, that that this thing is connected, and that no ice ball is going to be hanging out like this one. Just remember that. Yeah, just remember that it's housed inside of this area. And I'll illustrate that. So you have your sphere here, it's a ball. This ball is housed inside of, it's like housing it inside of a trash can. Remember, it's like a D. And these are kind of contour directional lines. So yeah, just remember that this area is like that, and then the actual skull is starting here. This is going downwards. It's sunken in just a little bit. But remember that this area, that eyeball is still bulging out. So this area back here is housed, and it's not really that much that visible because you have this muscle and skin that's right over that eyeball. And once you know this, eyes become 10 times easier, and you can just draw them as much as possible. Now, different regions, different people have different kind of eyes, and you have to take that into account.